Bartlett here. So today I'm going to show you how you can nourish the leads that you capture on your website using HighLevel. So this is actually part 4 of our series on how to create a website that works for you like an employee 24/7. If you have missed any of this training so far, definitely check the link in the description of the video, and you can check out that playlist there to get basically get caught up here. So what we've done actually, just to quickly like refresh your memory here, we have created this website here for a marketing agency. You can see that we've created the form that captures the information. We've also created this website web chat here. You can see we've attached the form there, and we tested this out. We saw that the contact went into our contacts area, and if you click here, you'll see that our automation that we created to add a tag and send the email, you'll see that that went through. There's the tag there. You can see all of the activity there as well. And if we go to our automations, we can see that automation that we created here for the new lead. What's really cool about this is any of your workflows, you can see that test that we did yesterday. The first email was sent out. You'll see we have this little person here hanging out because it's waiting. That's the stage in the workflow that they're in. So they're waiting for the next day to trigger that email to be sent. So if you ever want to know at what stage someone is in, or make sure that your workflows are working appropriately, you could go to the enrollment history and you'll see that that lead is there, the current actions, the status, and you can even see the execution history to see if they did, get hung up on a stage or something didn't function like you wanted it to. You can check there and see at what stage the error was created. All right, so you can see from the workflow that we created, though, the goal of what we're doing here is they go to our website, they submit their information into the form, it triggers this workflow here, and then we're going to add a tag, we're going to add a note to their profile, we're going to send an internal notification to our team to say, hey, you got a new lead and here's the lead's information. And then we're also going to start sending a welcome emails to our lead. Okay. Now, in this example, we have 3 different emails that we're going to send out. But what happens after that? Okay. I get this all the time. What happens after this? How do you continue to follow up with them? So I'm basically going to give you a crash course and some of the ways that you can nourish your leads using HighLevel. This is really honestly my favorite part of HighLevel because this makes it so easy to manage your business. Okay. So, getting out of the workflow, now that you're caught up in the stage of the program that we're in, we have launched our website, we have a way of collecting leads, we have that welcome system put in place to tell them more about our business, maybe send some testimonials. Now we need to create that nourishment process. Okay. So, the very first thing that I like to do is go to the opportunities and create a pipeline. So, you can see here that if you're a member of our program, we already have these pipelines built in. But if you wanted to create a new one for yourself, all you need to do is go to pipelines here and you can just click create a new pipeline. So I'm just going to call this leads. And I'm going to make this super simple. And I'm just going to create 4 different stages here. So we have leads and trial. And again, you really need to create this pipeline based on your own business. You may want to add like leads and booked an appointment or showed for the appointment. You may want to, whatever your business requires, this is what you want. I'm just giving you an idea here. So I'm going to say customer, and then I'm going to say canceled. Okay. Because these are really the stages that I want to track. I want to know, very easily when I look at this pipeline, I want to know who are my leads, who are my trials, who's my customers, and then who has actually canceled. So I'm going to click there to add my pipeline, and you'll see if I go over to opportunities that I can scroll to my leads opportunity, and you'll see these 4 stages. Now, this is really important. This is really the very first big decision that you're going to make about how do you want to follow up with your leads. Some people love to just come here, work out of the opportunities pipeline, and just move the cards from stage to stage. And then that movement of the cards will trigger the automations. However, that doesn't really work well for some businesses, and you may want to just use this as kind of a visual and then have the system automate based on tags and different things. Okay, so I'm going to actually show you a few different ways. If I go here, let me see. I'm trying to, this is my demo account. So I wanted to see if I have some cards created in here from my leads. Okay, so I don't. So that's fine. But just so that you know, the different leads will start showing up here in the different cards. Sorry, I don't have demo data to show you. Okay, so we want to create these stages. All right, now you could move, like I said, the cards over, and that can trigger the automations. It's not my favorite way of doing it. I love to do everything in the automations. I know that you're probably shocked to hear that about me. So what I want to do is I want to actually create 3 workflows that are going to coincide with each of those stages. Okay. So I already actually have one stage here, and that's the first stage of my pipeline, which is a lead. All right. So I'm going to go back to my lead workflow here, and I'm just going to add a step. All right. So what I'm going to say is now that my pipeline is created, when they fill out this form, I'm still going to add a tag. I'm going to add a note here. I'm going to send the internal notification, and I'm going to send that first email. But also, what I want to happen is I want to update that opportunities pipeline. So it doesn't really matter at what point I do this. I just want to do it before the wait step because I don't want it to add that lead to my opportunities pipeline the next day, right? I want it happening instantly. So I'm just going to do it up here before the wait step some point, and I'm just going to choose this point here out of random. And I'm going to choose create or update opportunities. So now when I click in pipeline, you'll actually see if I scroll down, I have that pipeline that I just created. Now I want to tell the system when I have a new lead that comes through this workflow, what stage do I want them to be in? Now this is a no brainer because this is a new lead and we have a lead stage. So that makes perfect sense, right? So I'm going to choose the lead stage, and I'm also going to choose, I could of course type something in here like new lead, but instead of that, I'd rather use their name. So I'm just going to click here and use a tag. So I'm going to go to the contact. I'm going to add their full name. So when it creates that card, it's going to have their first name or their full name at the top there. And I can also type in the source. So if I wanted to just type in new lead, I could do that here. But instead, I want to use a tag. So I'm going to go to contacts. I'm going to scroll down and you'll see that there's an actual source here. This is really helpful if you're using this pipeline for different funnels or different offers that you have available. You can see where they came from. So if I have a dollar amount onto this new lead, I could add that here. In this case, I don't really. And since it's only a lead, it's not really like a one opportunity. It's still open. So I'm going to choose open. And I could allow multiple opportunities. If I wanted to have a system where they could move forward and backward through my stages, then I could toggle this on. I don't really want to do that for this pipeline. There are some pipelines where that would be a good use case. But for this case, like lead gen, I really just want to track them because either they're a lead, a trial, a customer, or they've canceled, right? It's pretty, you can't really go from canceled to now a lead, right? I want to definitely know that you did already have a trial or whatever it was and you canceled, okay? So if I also, maybe I had multiple pipelines and maybe I had a whole pipeline for like HighLevel affiliates or something. And I also had this lead pipeline where I wanted to track my customers. I could have multiple. And if I wanted to allow this lead to show up in multiple opportunity pipelines, then I could toggle this on. Okay. So again, this is really a choice that you need to make based on how you want your business to function. It's just important to know what each of these are for. Okay. Most people will not have they will not want duplicate opportunities. Okay. So like I said, totally up to you how you want to structure that. So I'm going to go ahead and save the action and save. And then now I have that stage in the pipeline is already taken care of. Anytime I get a new lead, it's going to come through this pipeline. It's going to add the card in the lead stage for me. I don't need to do anything with this, right? So now I can just simply go to the opportunities pipeline. I can go to the lead stage and I will see a card here created with that customer. Okay. So now moving on to the next stage, because you'll see if I go back to my stages, the next one is a trial. So how am I going to know when someone creates a trial? Okay. So, and that could be in many, many different ways. Okay. So I'm just going to create a workflow from scratch here. And it could be most people, I'm going to go ahead and give my workflow a name here. So I'm going to say trial created. Not trail created, but trial. We are trailblazers here, but I'm going to say trial created. And then now I would need to choose my workflow. So, what is the trigger? A lot of times it will be like maybe it's an incoming webhook. If you're an affiliate and you're promoting another opportunity or something, you could choose an incoming webhook. If you wanted to add that, you could also choose like a tag. Maybe you have other workflows, and when someone creates a trial, it adds a tag there, and that's what you want to be this workflow. Most people, though, however, are going to have like an order form that someone is going to submit, and that is going to create the trial. So let's just say I'm going to choose global product is, and let's just say leads package. Okay. So now what I'm saying is every time someone submits an order here for the leads package, I want to trigger this automation. So what I would have to do when I was creating the product for the leads package, I would have to set that on a trial. Okay. And then now I have every time someone submits that order form that's already set as a trial in the product level, now it's going to trigger this automation to take place. Okay. So what I want to do, very first step, is I want to add a tag. Okay. So I'm going to add a tag here. If I don't already have a tag, I can just create one here. So I'm going to say trial and save. It's the very first thing I like to do. The next thing I like to do is add a note. Just like I showed you before, I do this in every workflow. So I'm going to say created trial. All right. It will already have the date and all of that. Okay. So the next step here is I need to, guess what? Update the opportunity. So I'm going to choose here to update the opportunity. I'm going to choose my same leads pipeline here, except in this stage, I want everyone who enters into this workflow to go into the trial stage here. Okay. And then once again, I'm going to choose the contact first name as the opportunity name. I'm going to choose the contact source as the source here. And I'm not going to add a lead value, which technically it's a trial. It technically is no lead yet. So I'm just going to say open. And then again, I could choose to allow duplicated opportunities or move between the stages. Not going to choose that. I'm just going to do save action. Now here, I probably would want to also send an email and say, hey, welcome to our program. Here's how you can access all of your, free stuff. Okay. I could also, at this point, if I had a free trial, I could grant access to the membership areas. I could make a manual phone call. I could send a message to Slack. I could, there's so many things that I could do in here at this point. But the goal of this workflow is to basically everything that you want to happen when a trial is created, you're going to build into this workflow. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just click save. And of course, you always want to make sure that your workflows are published when you use them. And now I'm going to back out. Okay. So we've taken care of the first two stages, right? We have the lead stage, we have the trial stage. Now, what happens when someone actually becomes a customer? Let's go ahead and create a new workflow here. And again, I like to create my workflows based on a tag, but let's call this customer. And we can click here and, there could be many different ways of tracking this, but I'm just going to say when they become a customer, let's go to find, let's see, what would be a good, I love tags. That's what everything that I base my automations are based on tags. Okay. So I'm going to say, let's just say tag. Okay. Now, keep in mind, I will have to have another automation based on like however they become a customer. Okay. There's so many scenarios. It's really hard for me to tell like how you want to track that. But just in this case, to make it simple, you could just add a tag. Okay. So I'm gonna say add tag here, and let's just say customer is our tag. And I'm gonna click add and save trigger. All right. So however you want to track that, we just need a workflow for the tag, okay? Or I'm sorry, workflow for when they become a customer. So the very first thing that I am going to add here is not a tag because I already added that as the trigger. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and add a note. Okay, so I'm going to say add note and became a customer. Now here, of course, I could add, other automations. I'm of course going to update the opportunity pipeline. So I'm going to click here. Let's look for opportunity. I'm going to click here. And of course, in my leads pipeline, I'm going to choose that. And then this one is going to be the customer stage. Same thing here. I'm just going to choose the contact's full name here. I'm going to choose the contact source. And I could add a lead value. And chances are, if you have a membership program, you probably have a lead value or a lifetime value of this customer. Let's just say $997. And we're going to say one because this would be an opportunity that we won, right? Because now they're a customer. And when you choose that value and the status one, it actually updates the graphics on your dashboard so that you can actually track those things. So that's very useful. Again, you could choose to allow the opportunities to move between stages or duplicate opportunities. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do save action. Now, you probably want something that, to send an email out to say, hey, congrats, you became a customer. And if you did want to do that, you could just do send email and then, type in all of that information that you want to send. So for now, I'm just going to say save and save. Okay. So now we have one more pipeline that we need to create. So I'm going to go back here now and I'm going to create the pipeline for the canceled customer. Okay. So if what you're noticing here is we're starting with our pipeline, we're thinking about what are the stages that we need to know people are in. Okay. That knowing the stages helps you know where they're at in the customer journey with your business so that you can, the people who are, close to being a customer, especially the people who are in the trial, those are the people that you definitely want to keep in contact with and make sure they have all the information that they need. So I'm just going to say this one is going to be my canceled automation. And again, I need to choose the trigger that is going to be however I want to tell if someone has canceled. I think there is a payment received. Let's do payment received. Uh, Payment status is failed. Okay. We could choose something like that. We could also choose payment status is not success. Okay. So, however you want to structure that, or maybe you just want to manually do this and push them through that. And if you wanted to just simply add a tag and whatever automations that you have that says canceled, you could do that too. So, let's just add a tag here, add tag, and let's choose canceled. Um, Okay, let's just say canceled. Add new tag and save trigger. Okay, so now the trigger for this automation is going to be canceled. And once again, we're not going to add a tag because we just did, but let's add notes. So I'm going to say add notes and customer canceled. This is very, very helpful when you are working in the conversations tab and you can see all these notes and all of that. You can easily see when they say, hey, why don't I have access? You can say, oh, because you canceled on this date. And then now you can, choose to send an email or whatever. We definitely want to update the opportunity pipeline here. And again, what you guys put in these stages is it's really up to you and however your business or your client's business is structured. So I'm going to choose my pipeline here. And of course, it's going to be the leads pipeline because that's what we're working in today. We're going to choose the canceled stage. We're going to add the opportunity name here. So sorry, my mouse is being so weird. And then we're going to add the opportunity source. So I'm going to scroll down here and choose source. There it is. And of course, we could choose the value, which they are canceling. So I'm not going to add that. And then we're going to say lost because it is lost. And I'm going to do save action. Okay. So now all of these stages, we have a workflow and a trigger for all of our stages now, and we can update these opportunities, the opportunity pipeline based on those individual stages. So if I go here now, let's go to this contact. And I'm going to go to, let's just go to test here. Now, this isn't a real email, but let's go ahead and let's think about the triggers, right? So the first two, we had lead and then we had trial. And now the tags, let's just say that this person canceled. Okay. So let's go ahead and just add the canceled tag here. And you'll see if we go now to our opportunities, go to the leads, and of course, let's turn our filter off here. All right. So now you can see that we have that this contact. It's created a card here, and if we click on there, we go right into the profile. We can see everything about this person, all the communications that we've had. We can see all of the notes that we've had here. You can see that when we added that tag that said canceled, it added the note here. And of course, if we had manual tasks, or if we had maybe we had other tags that would cancel individual products, we could add those to the workflow. So everything that we build into that, because our trigger was the canceled tag, that is what is going to trigger all of these automations to take place when we add that tag there. So you can see if you do start with tags, this is my favorite. If you do start with tags, it's just basic, like scroll through your tags, which one is relevant to what you need to do, and then you just choose that tag and that triggers the automations. Okay. So it updates everything for you. Now, there are a couple other things that I wanted to share with you. I know this is kind of a longer training, but there's a lot to go over, and I want to make sure that you really understand this process. Okay, so we've created our pipelines and all of that, but now let's actually talk about what do you do when you want to send an email. Okay, what do you want to do when you send an email after they've completed the onboarding there? Okay, so the first thing that I would do is, let's say that I just wanted to send a manual email to all of these people. I could just select the contacts that I want to send. Of course, I could send them to a campaign. I could send a text message. I could send an email, add tags, and all of these things. I could even request reviews if I wanted to. So this is a real simple way. Select the contacts, say, choose an email template if you have one, add your from name, from email, the subject line. You can type it all in here, and you're going to say whether you want to send all at once, schedule, drip mode, and then you're going to type in a description of why you are doing this, so that when you or a team member go back to your bulk actions, you can see the why this was set up this way. You'll see an answer there. Okay. However, there are other ways of doing this. All right. So um, one way is to actually segment. We talked about tags, right? To actually segment your leads according to tags and smart lists. Okay. So we have all of these people here, but what if we want to have like a newsletter? This is actually how I have mine set up. So inside of my automations, and every step, once the onboarding has been done, okay, I want to add a tag that's going to send them over to my just weekly or daily, or however often I send those emails. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the end of my welcome campaign, and I'm going to click here, and I'm just going to add a tag. Okay. So this tag is going to be newsletter. So anywhere in my whole account that I want to, add them, I cannot spell for some reason, newsletter. Okay. So anywhere in my automations that I want to send them or notify the system, like, okay, this person has received all their welcome emails. Now let's just kick them on over to my regular follow up campaigns. Okay. So I'm going to add that newsletter tag everywhere that I want them to be added into. So if I have, many different campaigns, I can add that anywhere, right? Because everything for the newsletter is going to be triggered based on that tag. All right. So, of course, we haven't set that up yet. We just created the tag. Maybe here on canceled, which I wouldn't do this, but maybe here, like when they cancel, I'm like, you know what? When they cancel, I don't want them to receive my newsletter anymore. So I'm just going to go to this area here, which honestly, I would not do this. I just wanted to show you how you would, basically segment everything for your newsletter based on the tag. Okay. So let's just say here they cancel. I want to remove them from my newsletter. So now what I've set up here is everything based on that newsletter tag is going to be determined if they get my daily or weekly or monthly newsletter. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to go to contacts, and I want to create a smart list. This is going to be a dynamic list of everyone that has that newsletter tag. So you see in this account, I have all of my contacts here, and I don't have anyone that has the newsletter tag. But what I'm going to do is go over here, and I'm going to create a smart list. Okay. So here, I'm going to segment all of these contacts by the tag. So I'm going to say if this contact has a newsletter tag. Okay, so I'm going to type in newsletter. then that's what you can see that it's selecting none. It says showing 0 records because I don't have anyone tagged with newsletter. I'm just creating the smart list. Okay. So I'm going to say newsletter. All right. Now, if I go, you'll see I'm still in the smart list. You can see I have a smart list up here. If I want to go back to all of the people, I just go to all. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this contact here and I'm going to add smart list or I'm going to add newsletter to this person. Okay. And then when I go back to add that there. And when I go back to my contacts, you'll see that now, if I click on newsletter, I have one contact in my list. Okay. So now when I want to only send emails to the people in the newsletter tag, and of course you can make this criteria like people who have a newsletter tag and who have opened an email once or who have an email address or who live in, whatever, who have an address or have a phone number or people who were, have this Google ID or whatever you want, right? There's so many ways that you can segment and create a smart list. It's insane. All right. But just to keep it simple, we're going to say if you have this newsletter tag, you are the one that we want to send our newsletters to. Okay. So what I want to do now is because typically newsletters are beautiful, I want to create a newsletter template. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create my first template. I can choose from an existing campaign. I can create one from a template I have, or I can create a blank one. I have lots and lots of training on creating newsletter templates. I'm not going to create one from scratch because I really want to show you what to do with it. So let's say that I want to use this newsletter template because it's beautiful and it's exactly what my business uses. So I'm going to go ahead and let's select this one, or actually, let's select it. Wonder why my screen looks all weird like that. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that. Let's say, look at it. Okay, let's just create. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's just create a blank one and we'll go to design editor and let's just drag in some things. Okay, so the first thing I probably want to put like an image here that has like my logo. Of course, I could upload from the media library. I could also use AI to create one. Let's just say, for the sake of generic, we'll say this. We'll say maybe we want to add just a quick button. We could add a footer here if we want to. We could add some different layouts if we want to do that. We could add some code and a video and an FAQ section. There's tons and tons of things that we can do. But just for the sake of this, let's say that we love this template and we're going to keep it like this. Also, when you're creating templates, I don't want to breeze over this. You can also, if you go to the settings up here, you can pre-fill in the from name, the from email, the preview text, and even the email subject line in your template so that you don't have to add this every time. So just so that you know that you can do that. Okay, so I'm going to choose this template. Let's say we love it. And now we've created our template. And now let's just say that once a month, we like to sit down and create 4 newsletters that we want to send out to our list. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we've created our template. We're going to go to campaigns and we're going to go to new. So I'm actually going to use my template, which was called new template. Okay. And I'm going to say, this is my first newsletter. I can edit it however I want to. I'm just going to go ahead, do send and schedule. Okay. So I'm going to schedule this to go out. I'm going to choose the date and time that I want to schedule it. Let's just say I wanted to do today. I could choose my from email. I could choose, let's just say MBA. Actually, info at myvisionagency.com. And I could even choose like the custom values if I wanted to do that here. We could put sender name if I want. And I could add the subject line because I didn't add that in the template. This is cool. And of course, I could add something here if I wanted to for the preview text, but this is really the important part. So we want to choose send to smart list. Okay. This is why we created the smart list, because if you choose contacts, it's going to choose all of your contacts. And you may have contacts that don't have an email. Maybe they've contacted you via phone and you only have their phone number. Or maybe they've bounced, like for whatever reason. Or maybe they're still in a welcome series and you don't want to be sending them multiple emails a day. Okay, that's super spammy. So we're going to say we don't want to choose all contacts. We're going to choose the specific smart list that we've chosen. Okay, so I'm going to click here. Now you see my smart list shows up here and it says newsletter. All right, so everyone who has that newsletter tag is going to receive this email today when I schedule this to send. All right. Now I can choose, do I want only the people who are currently, when I'm scheduling this right now, if they have that newsletter tag, only those people? Or what if I schedule this and then 10 minutes from now, someone else gets the newsletter tag added to their account? Do I want to include them when this gets sent? So especially if I'm scheduling ahead of time, I definitely want to say, yes, include them. And then I would just click here to schedule that email to go out. Okay, so I didn't set all of this up correctly, so it's going to say no. But that's what I would do. Okay. So now what happens then for the next week? Okay. I'm going to go through that same exact process. I'm going to choose the date, maybe on the 8th. I want to send that out. Maybe I want to choose the same time here. All of this is same. I want to, write a new subject line. And then same thing. I'm just going to choose, again, my smart list. I'm going to choose yes, include them, and then schedule. Okay. So I'm going to do this every single time I want to send my newsletters out. It's going to send them on time. It's going to keep that list updated according to all of the people who have newsletters. Even if you decided to send this out or schedule these a year in advance, as long as you choose yes, include them, everyone who gets added to that smart list is going to receive those emails. Okay. Now, there are a couple other things that I wanted to go over with you as well. Like I said, I know it's a lot of information, but if you go back to contacts, or I'm sorry, let's go to emails first, because I want to show you some email analytics that are really important. So if I click here, you can't see these because I haven't actually sent out let me pull up just real quick here, a demo account so I can show you some actual email analytics here. Give me just 1 second so I can pull this up. It will be so worth your wait. Okay, so let me just drag this over here. Okay, so let's just say for this email here, let's say when this got sent out, we can see statistics. Okay, so we can see 3,066 were attempted, 99.80%, 20% were skipped. We could even see the conversions and all of that here. We could also, if we wanted to, go into email services, and we could also check the analytics here for the emails that are getting sent out, how many clicked, how many unsubscribed and bounced, and all of that. Okay. So lots of really cool data that you can access according to all of your emails and all of that are getting sent out. Okay. So I know it's a lot of information. I hope that really clears up how you can use HighLevel to nourish all of those leads so that this is an easy process. We don't want this to be a complicated process. Okay. What's really great, like I said, when you're using those tags, when you're working in your conversations tab, because this is really where people are going to be working out of HighLevel, right? You're either going to be working in the conversations tab, or you're going to be working in the pipelines, and you're going to be, okay, all of my leads, here's what I need to do. Or maybe you want to call them, there's some manual action, maybe you want to look into them, maybe whatever you want to do, you could toggle these over, or you could let these cards be based on the automations that they're already in. Okay, so thank you all so much for joining me. If you don't have a HighLevel account yet, go to bridgetbartlett.com. You can see my website in the top right-hand corner of the screen, and you will join our team, get access to all of our bonuses and all of that, and a free 30-day trial of HighLevel. So thank you all so much for joining me. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us for today's training. If you have any questions, you can join us for open office hours starting right now at bridgetbartlett.com. It's free and open to everyone, so I'll see you there.